Today is 7th of July 2018. It's 24 of Tammuz 5778. Today we're going to read the portion, or in Hebrew, Parashah number 41. The name of this portion is Pinchas. And it's in the book of Numbers chapter 25. And we're going to read from verse 10 to chapter 29, verse 40. We're going to read almost 5 chapters today. And we're going to do this reading in 7 aliyot, or 7 readings according to our custom. First aliyah, Yamot George Petty ben Abraham Avinu likro b'Torah.
Shabbat Shalom. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, has turned back my wrath from the children of Israel, because he was zealous with my zeal among them, so that I did not consume the children of Israel in my zeal. Therefore say, Behold, I give to him my covenant of peace, and it shall be to him and his descendants after him a covenant and everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God and made atonement for the children of Israel. Now the name of the Israelite who was killed with the Midianite woman, was Zimri, the son of Zal, a leader of a father's house among the Semenites. And the name of the Midianite woman who was killed was Kozbeg, the daughter of Zur. He was head of the people of the father's house in Midian. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Harass the Midianites and attack them, for they have harassed you with their schemes by which they seduce you in the matter of Peor and the matter of Kozbi, the daughter of the leader of the Midian, their sister, who was killed in the day of the plague because of Peor. And it came to pass after the plague that the Lord spoke to Moses and Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saying, Take census of all the congregation of the children of Israel from 20 years old and above, by their fathers' houses, all who are able to go to war in Israel. So Moses and Eleazar the priest spoke with them in the plains of Moab, by the Jordan, also from across the Jericho, saying, Take a census of the people from 20 years old and above, just as the Lord commanded Moses and the children of Israel, who came out of the land of Egypt.
Aliyah number 2, Yamot Randy Epperson ben Abraham Avinu likro b'Torah.
Reuben was the firstborn of Israel. The children of Reuben were of Hanoch, the family of the Hanochites, of Palu, the family of the Paluites, of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, of Carmi, the family of the Carmites. These are the families of the Reubenites. Those who were numbered of them were 43,730. And the son of Palu was Eliab. The sons of Eliab were Nethuel, Dathan, and Abiram. These are the Dathan and Abiram representatives of the congregation who contended against Moses and Aaron in the company of Korah when they contended against Adonai. And the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up together with Korah when that company died, when the fire devoured 250 men, and they became a sign. Nevertheless, the children of Korah did not die. The sons of Simeon, according to their families, were of Nemuel, the family of the Nemuelites, of Yamin, the family of the Yaminites, of Yachin, the family of the Yachinites, of Zerah, the family of the Zerahites, of Shaul, the family of the Shaulites. These are the families of the Simeonites, 22,200. The sons of Gad, according to their families, were of Zephon, the family of the Zephonites, of Hagi, the family of the Haggites, of Shuni, the family of the Shunites, of Ozni, the family of the Oznites, of Eri, the family of the Erites, of Erod, the family of the Erodites, of Areli, the family of the Arelites. These are the families of the sons of Gad, according to those who were numbered of them, 40,500. The sons of Judah were Er and Onan, and Er and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Judah, according to their families, were of Shelah, the family of the Shelonites, of Perez, the family of the Parzites, of Zerah, the family of the Zarites. And the sons of Perez were of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, of Hamul, the family of the Hamulites. These are the families of Judah, according to those who were numbered of them, 76,500. The sons of Issachar, according to their families, were of Tola, the family of the Tolaites, of Puah, the family of the Punites, of Yashub, the family of the Yashubites, of Shimron, the family of the Shimronites. These are the families of Issachar, according to those who were numbered of them, 64,300. The sons of Zebulun, according to their families, were of Sered, the family of the Sardites, of Elon, the family of the Elonites, of Jalil, the family of the Jalilites. These are the families of the Zebulunites, according to those who were numbered of them, 60,500. The sons of Joseph, according to their families, by Manasseh and Ephraim, were the sons of Manasseh, of Machir, the family of the Machirites, and Machir begot Gilead, of Gilead, the family of the Gileadites. These are the sons of Gilead, of Jazer, the family of the Jezerites, of Helek, the family of the Helekites, of Asriel, the family of the Asrielites, of Shechem, the family of the Shechemites, of Shemida, the family of the Shemidaites, of Hefer, the family of the Heferites. Now Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, had no sons but daughters, and the names of the daughters of Zelophehad were Mala, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These are the families of Manasseh, and those who were numbered of them were 52,700. These are the sons of Ephraim, according to their families. Of Shuthalah, the family of the Shuthalites, of Becher, the family of the Bachrites, of Taran, the family of the Tachanites. And these are the sons of Shuthalah, of Aaron, the family of the Aaronites. These are the families of the sons of Ephraim, according to those who were numbered of them, 32,500. These are the sons of Joseph, according to their families. The sons of Benjamin, according to their families, were of Bela, the family of the Belaites, of Ashbel, the family of the Ashbelites, of Ahiram, the family of the Ahiramites, of Shufam, the family of the Shufamites, of Hufam, the family of the Hufamites. And the sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman. Of Ard, the family of the Ardites, of Naaman, the family of the Naamites. These are the sons of Benjamin according to their families. And those who were numbered of them were 45,600. These are the sons of Dan according to their families. Of Shuham, the family of the Shuhamites. These are the families of Dan according to their families. All the families of the Shuhamites, according to those who were numbered of them, were 64,400. The sons of Asher, according to their families, were of Jimnah, the family of the Jimnites, of Yeshui, the family of the Yeshuites, of Beriah, the family of the Beriites, of the sons of Beriah, of Heber, the family of the Heberites, of Malchiel, the family of the Malchielites. And the name of the daughter of Asher was Serah. These are the families of the sons of Asher, according to those who were numbered of them, 53,400. The sons of Naphtali, according to their families, were of Jazil, the family of the Jazilites, of Guni, the family of the Gunites, of Jezer, the family of the Jezerites, of Shilem, the family of the Shilemites. These are the families of Naphtali according to their families, and those who were numbered of them were 45,400. These are those who were numbered of the children of Israel, 601,730.
Aliyah number 3. Yamot John McLean ben Abraham Avinu לקרוא בתורה.
Then Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, To these the land shall be divided as an inheritance according to the number of names. To a large tribe you shall give a larger inheritance, and to a small tribe you shall give a smaller inheritance. Each shall be given its inheritance according to those who were numbered of them. But the land shall be divided by lot. They shall inherit according to the names of the tribes of their fathers. According to the lot, the inheritance shall be divided between the larger and the smaller. And these are those who were numbered of the Levites according to the families of Gershon, according to their families of Gershon, the family of the Gershonites, of Kohath, the family of the Kohathites, of Merari, the family of the Merarites. These are the families of the Levites, the families of the Libanites, the family of the Hebronites, the family of the Mahalites, the family of the Mushites, and the family of the Korathites. And Kohath begot Amram. The name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Egypt. And to Amram she bore Aaron and Moses, and their sister Miriam. To Aaron were born Nadab and Abihu, and Eleazar and Ithamar. And Nadab and Abihu died when they offered profane fire before Adonai. Now those who were numbered of them were 23,000, every male from a month old and above, for they were not numbered among the other children of Israel, because there was no inheritance given to them among the children of Israel. These are those who were numbered by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who numbered the children of Israel in the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. But among those there was not a man of those who were numbered by Moses and Aaron the priest when they numbered the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai. For the Lord had said to them, they shall surely die in the wilderness. So there was not left a man among them except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, the son of Nun. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, from the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. And these were the names of his daughters, Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses, before Eleazar the priest, and before the leaders and all the congregation by the doorway of the tabernacle of meeting, saying, our father died in the wilderness, but he was not in the company of those who gathered together against Adonai, in company with Korah, but he died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be removed from among the family, because he had no son? Give us a possession among our father's brothers. So Moses brought their case before Adonai.
Aliyah number 4. Yamot Bob Lane ben Abraham Abinu לקרוא בתורה.
The Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, the daughters of Zelophehad speak what is right. You shall surely give them a possession of inheritance among their father's brothers, and cause the inheritance of their father to pass to them. And you shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, if a man dies and has no son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. If he has no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, you shall give his inheritance to his father's brothers. And if his father has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to the relative closest to him in his family, and he shall possess it. And it shall be to the children of Israel a statute of judgment, just as the Lord commanded Moshe. Now the Lord said to Moses, go up into this mount of Abraham and see the land which I have given to the children of Israel. And when you have seen it, you shall be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother was gathered. For in the wilderness of Zin, during the strife of the congregation, he rebelled against my command to hallow me at the waters before their eyes. These are the waters of Meribah and Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Then Moshe spoke to the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God over the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, who may go out before them and go in before them, who may lead them out and bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord may not be like sheep which have no shepherd. And the Lord said to Moshe, Take Joshua the son of Nun with you, a man in whom the Spirit, is the Spirit, and lay your hands on him, and set him before Eleazar the priest and before the congregation, and inaugurate him in their sight. And you shall give some of your authority to him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire before the Lord for him by the judgment of the Urim. At his word they shall go out, and at his word they shall come in, he and all the children of Israel with him, all the congregation. So Moshe did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation. And he laid his hands on him and inaugurated him, just as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moshe.
Reading Aliyah number 5. Yamot Mike Burns ben Abraham Avinu likro b'Torah.
Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel and say to them, My offering, my food for my offerings, made by fire as a sweet aroma to me, you shall be careful to offer to me at their appointed time. And you shall say to them, This is the offering made by fire which you shall offer to the Lord. 2 male lambs in their first year without blemish, day by day as a regular burnt offering. The one lamb you shall offer in the morning, the other lamb you shall offer in the evening. And 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour as grain offering mixed with 1/4 of a hin of pressed oil. It is a regular burnt offering which was ordained at Mount Sinai for a sweet aroma and offering made by fire to the Lord. And its drink offering shall be 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. A holy place you shall pour out the drink to the Lord as an offering. The other lamb you shall offer in the evening as the morning grain offering, and its drink offering you shall offer it as an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the Lord. And on the Sabbath day 2 lambs in their first year without blemish, and 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering, mixed with oil with its drink offering. This is the burnt offering for every Sabbath, besides the regular burnt offering with its drink offering. At the beginning of the year, at the beginning of your months, you shall present a burnt offering to the Lord. 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year without blemish. 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil for each bull. 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil for the 1 ram. And 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for each lamb, as a burnt offering of sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. Their drink offering shall be a half a hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin for a ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This is the burnt offering for each month throughout the months of the year. Also, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering to the Lord shall be offered, besides the regular burnt offering and its drink offering.
Aliyah number 6. Yamot is all here? No. Jeremy Sarain ben Abraham Avinu likro b'Torah.
gracious.
On the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of the Lord, and on the 15th day of this month is the feast. Unleavened bread shall be eaten for 7 days. On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. And you shall present an offering made by fire as a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year. Be sure they are without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of fine flour mixed with oil, and 3/10 of an ephah you shall offer for a bull, and 2/10 for a ram. You shall offer 1/10 of an ephah for each of the 7 lambs, also 1 goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. You shall offer these besides the burnt offering of the morning, which is for a regular burnt offering. In this manner you shall offer the food of the offering made by fire daily for 7 days, as a sweet aroma to the Lord. It shall be offered besides the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. And on the 7th day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. Also on the day of the first fruits, when you bring a new grain offering to the Lord at your feast of weeks, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. You shall present a burnt offering as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year, with their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, also 1 kid of the goats, to make atonement for you. Be sure they are without blemish. You shall present them with their drink offerings, besides the regular burnt offerings with its grain offering. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. For you it is a day of blowing the trumpets. You shall offer a burnt offering as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year without blemish. Their grain offering shall be fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Besides the burnt offering with its grain offering for the new moon, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings according to their ordinance, as a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. On the 10th day of this 7th month you shall have a holy convocation. You shall afflict your souls. You shall not do any work. You shall present a burnt offering to the Lord as a sweet aroma, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year. Be sure they are without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, besides the sin offering for atonement, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings.
It was like 3 verses behind. Aliyah number 7. Yamot Chris Lemon ben Abraham Avinu likro b'Torah.
On the 15th day of the 7th month you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work, and you shall keep a feast to the Lord 7 days. You shall present a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year. They shall be without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each of the rams, 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 2nd day present 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs in the first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. On the 3rd day present 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 4th day present 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 5th day present 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 6th day present 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 7th day present 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 8th day you shall have a sacred assembly. You shall do no customary work. You shall present a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a sweet aroma to the Lord. 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. These you shall present to the Lord at your appointed feasts, besides your vowed offerings and your freewill offerings, as your burnt offerings and your grain offerings, as your drink offerings and your peace offerings. So Moses told the children of Israel everything, just as the Lord commanded Moses.
Reading of the Maftir, Yamot Kevin Hedrick ben Abraham Avinu לקרוא בתורה.
On the 8th day you shall have a sacred assembly. You shall do no customary work. You shall present a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a sweet aroma to Adonai. 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bull and the ram, and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. These you shall present to Adonai at your appointed feasts, besides your vowed offerings and your freewill offerings, as your burnt offerings, your grain offerings, as your drink offerings, and your peace offerings. So Moses told the children of Israel everything, just as Adonai commanded Moses.
Reading of the Haftarah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, מלך העולם אשר בחר בנביאים טובים ורצה בדרכיך הנאמרים באמת, ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בתורה ובמשה עבדו וביזרעאל עמו ובנביאיהם האמת בצדק.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, King of the universe, who chose good prophets and was pleased with their words, which they spoke in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, who chose the Torah, Moses his servant, Israel his people, and the prophets of truth and righteousness. Then the hand of Adonai came upon Elijah, and he girded up his loins and ran ahead of Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, also how he had executed the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, So let the gods do to me, and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and ran for his life and went to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and he left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a broom tree. And he prayed that he might die, and said, It is enough. Now, Adonai, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers. Then as he lay and slept under a broom tree, suddenly an angel touched him and said to him, Arise and eat. Then he looked, and there by his head was a cake baked on coals, and a jar of water. So he ate and drank, and lay down again. And the angel of Adonai came back a second time, and touched him, and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for you. So he arose and ate and drank, and he went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights, as far as Horeb, the mountain of God. And there he went into a cave, and spent the night in that place. And behold, the word of Adonai came to him. And he said to him, What are you doing here, Elijah? So he said, I have been very zealous for Adonai, God of hosts. For the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they seek to take my life. Then he said, Go out and stand on the mountain before Adonai. And behold, Adonai passed by, and a great and strong wind tore into the mountains and broke the rocks in pieces before Adonai. But Adonai was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but Adonai was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but Adonai was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. So it was when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entrance of the cave. Suddenly a voice came to him and said, What are you doing here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very zealous for Adonai, God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they seek to take my life. Then Adonai said to him, Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when you arrive, anoint Hazael as king over Syria. Also you shall anoint Jehu the son of Nimshi as king over Israel, and Elisha the son of Shaphat of Abel Meholah you shall anoint as prophet in your place. It shall be that whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, Jehu will kill, and whoever escapes the sword of Jehu, Elisha will kill. Yet I have reserved 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him. So he departed from there and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he was with the 12th. Then Elijah passed by him and threw his mantle on him. And he left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, Please, let me kiss my father and mother, then I will follow you. And he said to him, Go back again, for what have I done to you? So Elisha turned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slaughtered them and boiled their flesh using the oxen's equipment and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he arose and followed Elijah and became his servant.
Reading of the Apostolic Scriptures, Yamot Naomi Snyder Batzara Imenu Likro B'Brit Hadasha. ברוך אתה, אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו את דברי המשיח ישוע ואת דברי השליחיו. ברוך אתה, אדוני נותן את דברי המשיח ישוע.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, King of the universe, who gave to us the words of Messiah Yeshua and the words of his apostles. Blessed are you, Adonai, giver of the words of Messiah Yeshua. Ephesians 2. And you he made alive, who were dead in trespasses and sins, in which you once walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit who now works in the sons of disobedience, among whom also we all once conducted ourselves in the lusts of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, just as the others. But Adonai, who is rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, made us alive together with Mashiach. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up together, and made us sit together in the heavenly places in Yeshua Messiah, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace in his kindness toward us in Messiah Yeshua. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Messiah Yeshua for good works, which Adonai prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Therefore remember that you, once Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by what is called the circumcision, made in the flesh by hands. At that time you were without Yeshua, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without Adonai in the world. But now in Messiah Yeshua, you who once were far off have been brought near by the blood of Yeshua. For he himself is our peace, who has made both one and has broken down the middle wall of separation, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, that is, the law of commandments contained in ordinances, so as to create in himself one new man from the two, thus making peace, and that he might reconcile them both to Adonai in one body through the cross, therefore putting to death the enmity. And he came and preached peace to you who are afar off, and to those who are near. For through him we both have access by one Spirit to the Father. Now therefore you are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of Adonai, having been built on the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yeshua Messiah himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom the whole building, being fitted together, grows into a holy temple in the Lord, to whom you also are being built together for a dwelling place of Adonai in the Spirit.
Amen. Please stand up.
Well, this week's Parashah reading is named Pinchas, which is Hebrew for Pinchas. God grants Pinchas with an eternal covenant of peace as a reward for his zeal on God's behalf. And you remember what we just read? Pinchas grabs a spear and runs it through Zimri and Cosby. At first glance, we have a lot of problems here, as you can well imagine. He appears to act on his own by being a court of one, without trial, without due process. Appears at first glance that his zeal somehow atones for his actions. God is so well pleased with him that he bestows an eternal covenant upon him, an eternal covenant of peace upon him. God praises this guy by saying he was zealous, and we can translate it this way because of the Hebrew. He was zealous with my jealousy. He was zealous with my jealousy among them, so that I did not destroy the sons of Israel in my jealousy. How do we work through this seemingly huge problem? Actually, it's a bit simple. It has a simple explanation. Pinchas was acting under orders. God had ordered Moses to take all the leaders who have led the people into idolatry and execute them in broad daylight before the Lord, so that the fierce anger of the Lord may turn away from Israel. Moses ordered the judges to each one to to slay his men who had joined themselves to Baal of Peor. Pinchas had received the order from Moses, was simply carrying out his orders. You see, there's always a chain of command. There's always order in God's kingdom. I am reminded of the centurion who came to Yeshua one day in Matthew chapter 8. And Yeshua entering into Capernaum, a centurion came near to him, begging him and saying, "Lord, my servant has been laid in the house, a paralytic, being grievously tormented." And Yeshua said to him, "I'll come and heal him." And answering, the centurion said, "Lord, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy that you should enter under my roof, but only speak a word, and my servant will be healed." For explanation, I am also a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this one, "Go," and he goes. I say to another one, "Come," and he comes. And to my slave, "Do this," and he does it. And hearing this, Yeshua marveled and said to those following him, "Truly I say to you, not even in Israel did I find such faith. But I say to you that many will come from the east and the west and will recline with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be cast out into the outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth." And Yeshua said to the centurion, "Go. And as you have believed, so let it be to you." I love that phraseology. "And let it be to you." And his servant was healed in that hour. And we initially wonder, as many in Yeshua's day wondered, well, could anything good come out of a Roman soldier? The very emblem of oppression and of God's people. We don't know anything more about the centurion. And yet the Lord immediately says that he would go and heal his servant. And it wasn't his son, but his servant. In fact, this is the only place where someone came to him in behalf of a servant. Yeshua is not a respecter of persons. And the centurion expresses his great humility and meekness. Can you imagine that? Rome is ruling Palestine, or as we would say, the Promised Land. And this Roman centurion, which holds someone's life in his own hands, would express his deep humility and meekness by saying he's not worthy for this Jewish rabbi to come into his house, even if it was for a short period of time. And we're reminded, he who humbles himself shall be what? It's a law. It's always. He recognized the authority of Yeshua. And the next verse says, "For," explanation, "I am also a man under authority." This is an expression of his great faith. He does not say to pray, but simply speak a word. Speak a word, and the healing will take place. Luke says, say in a word. Just let a word come forth from your mouth, and healing will go forth from your mouth. You see, this great faith is not an individualistic type of faith that loners expect to exercise. This great faith is based upon the centurion's brilliant insight. I am also a man under authority. The centurion knew power. He exercised it every day, and he felt it from above. He could give orders because he was under authority. His own authority was derived from his being under or obedient to the authority of someone else. He had no authority except that authority that flowed down through the proper channels. He recognized in Yeshua this great truth. He was under the authority of the eternal God in the heavenly places. You see, the extent of one's authority is determined by the authority over you. What he meant in this statement is, I know how to obey. Myself being under authority. And having others under me, I know how servants obey. To the extent of our own obedience is the extent of our own authority. There's power in a command. When it's given by someone in authority, through the obedience that he himself shows, and through that which he himself receives. All true authority is derived authority. We have no authority but what flows down through the chain of command. Every soldier who commands in our armed forces has the derived authority of the President of the United States of America. When we act on our own, apart from the proper authorities, we walk in no power because we have no power. We become the source of the power that we exercise. And this kind of authority is not really true authority. True authority is based on the power of God working through us. Power flows out of the chain of command. Too many men move out from under their head, and problems and trouble enters into their families. Too many men have never recognized their true place under the Lord our God, under Yeshua. Well, faith is the integral part of our walk. As we line up under God-ordained authority, faith flows out of the garden of humility. I think every one of us would say, we need a faith like this Gentile soldier. We need a faith like the Gentile soldier, simple and yet profound. A faith that is spiritual and undoubting. And Yeshua marveled at such great faith. when Yeshua entered into his hometown, it's recorded in Mark, he could do no work of power there except he performed healing on a few infirm ones, laying on his hands, and he marveled because of their unbelief. And he went around the villages in a circuit teaching. You see, Yeshua both marveled at the unbelief of his day and the great faith of this Gentile centurion. He marveled. He couldn't do much work in his own hometown. How we would wish Yeshua would marvel at great faith here at VOB. And in this same regard, we hear the words of Moses when it was told him that his life would soon come to an end. How would you feel? God says, you don't have much time to live, Moses. It's your time. It's your time. What would go through your minds? And Moses immediately felt the burden, and he said, then Moses said to the Lord, Numbers 27:18, may the Lord, the God of spirits of all flesh, appoint a man over the congregation. Moses was deeply concerned for the congregation, for the community of believers. And so a shepherd was appointed by God to take Moses' place. That shepherd was Joshua. Joshua was a servant of Moses for decades. Joshua learned from being a disciple and faithful servant of Moses. The sages used to say, if a person desires to develop in wisdom, he should spend time with the wise. If a person desires to develop in righteousness, he should spend time with righteous people. If a person desires to become a leader, he should stay close to a good leader. I don't know how true that is. But Luke 6:40 says, a disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone after he has been fully trained will be like his teacher. We progress only so far as our mentor. In other words, we can only take someone as far as we ourselves are with the Lord. Joshua served faithfully as Moses' servant. And it's even as Yeshua said, but it will not be so among you, but whosoever desires to become great among you, let him be your servant, and whoever desires to be first among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but he came to serve. And finally, at the end of his earthly life, to give his life a ransom for many. As you become a better disciple of Yeshua, you'll become more like him, and you'll become a willing and loyal servant. Serving is the first step in leadership development. And we want to notice that God praises Pinchas for his zeal. In fact, the Lord connects zealousness with his own jealousy. Literally, again, this reads, he was zealous with my jealousy among them so that I did not destroy the sons of Israel in my jealousy. It's important for us to grasp the meaning of these words. The word zeal comes from the root word kana. This root occurs 3 times in this one verse. The first is a verb. He was zealous. The second, for my sake, with my zeal or jealousy, is actually a noun. And the third, a noun, in my jealousy. Zeal and jealousy are actually 2 sides of the same coin, so to speak. The word kana is also used in the second commandment to describe God. As it is written, you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a graven image. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. For, explanation, for I, Adonai, your God, am El Kana. Yes, the jealous God. The jealous God. The Cambridge Bible Commentary says, the divine jealousy is that which makes him claim an exclusive right over you. And this right was violated when Israel gave themselves up to idolatry. El Kana is a name for God, like El Shaddai is a name for God. We make songs out of El Shaddai. I haven't heard any song from El Kana. We say that God is light, and in Him there's no darkness. We say God is spirit, and we should worship Him in spirit and in truth. We say God is love, but do we ever say God is a jealous God? And it's important for us to realize that our God is jealous over you. He is zealous over you. He cares what you do with your body. We can look into the renewed covenant to find where our zeal is to be placed. We look at the zeal in the life of our Lord. John 2 and his disciples remembered that it was written, as actually Psalm 69:9, the zeal of your house has consumed me. You see, Yeshua acted to purify the temple courts out of his jealousy for his Father's house. Yeshua fulfilled and will fulfill Isaiah prophecy which says, for he put on righteousness like armor and a helmet of salvation on his head, and he put on robes of vengeance as clothing, and he put on zeal like a mantle. And so how are you to emulate our Lord? And just as he was under authority, so must you be as well. And just as he was zealous for the things of God, so must you be zealous for the things of God as well. And even as Titus says, who gave himself on our behalf that he might redeem us from all lawlessness and purify people, special people, for himself, zealous of good works. Speak these things and exhort and convict with all authority. Let no one despise you, my son Timothy, Titus. Be zealous of good works. In 1 Corinthians it says, so also you, since you are zealous of spiritual things, seek to build up the assembly in order that you may abound. In order that you may abound. Some translators say spiritual things and others follow more closely the context and say spiritual gifts. Perhaps we can say, since you are zealous in your spirituality, seek to build up the assembly in order that you might abound. How many of us are zealous in our prayer? How many of us are zealous for God's Word? There's a Greek word, the Greek word zeo, and it's fervent in spirit. Be fervent in spirit. The Greek word is boil or hot. Be hot in your spirit. I'm thinking the Lord had this of His Word in mind when He warned the community not to be lukewarm. Perhaps He had this in mind. Be hot, boiling in your spirit for the Lord. Let's pray. Gracious Father, thank you.